Most of you recall the great hoax known as Fukushima, right? In fact, we heard about it for years and years and years. Fukushima, right? What really went on behind closed doors between the state of Israel and the Japanese? It had to do with computer programs, computer codes, technology, and the Japanese being maneuvered into going along with the play of the synagogue of Satan. There was no Fukushima. Sometimes snakes fight other snakes. Sometimes snakes eat other snakes, and praise God for it. When nations do not go along, the synagogue of Satan will tell them, we will shut you down. No military might will be necessary at this point. And recently, with what we've been through in the past couple of years, you have to understand that with the Great Reset, every country had to be on board. There could not be no rogue nation saying, hey, we don't believe it, we're against it. Every nation had to be on board. And if they weren't willing to get on board, they were going to be told, you don't have a choice. In fact, the masses will become so outraged that they will demand their puppets to go along with the synagogue of Satan. There are different ways to manipulate and move people without using physical force. It is the demonic art of seduction and reprogramming. When you deprogram a people and then reprogram them, you have control over that person. And if enough people are reprogrammed, you can control the nation. Even if there are a few dissenters that are the Jesus freaks, as they call us. I'm not talking about the building dwellers, known as the Church of the State of Israel. I'm talking about the real followers of God. You know, recently I heard about the baby formula shortage. As usual, the naive, blind, and evil are blaming Joe Biden. I shake my head at this folly. Joe Biden is an 80-year-old catatonic pervert who has never made a decision in his life. Never. He's just a face, man, and not a very good one at that. He's the face of a certain segment of American society. How incredible for me to see that no one will ever call out the real culprits behind these crimes and deliberate shortages. And then occasionally when you do have some that do, almost all of them are just as bad as the damn ones that are doing it. Because they're all anti-God. Every damn one of them. The people that are behind these shortages, deliberate shortages, are called the great merchants. They're called Mystery Babylon. They're called the synagogue of Satan and other words. God called them out, condemned them forever. Jesus called them out and condemned them forever. Yet the masses wish to prop them up and lay the blame on a brain-dead zombie named Biden. These created crises are used to garner control and power. This is the theme of this teaching. People are under their control because they choose to be. Yes, choose to be. It's true that we are all dependent on certain elements of the merchants for our merchandise, which is where the word comes from, of this world. The differences are this, and I ask you to hear me well. I and you do not depend on them for anything. I hate them and they hate me. It is mutual. I depend on my Father and Jesus Christ to take care of me. However, something must be said before we go further, because it is vitally important. Every good thing in your life comes from God, and don't you ever forget it. If you think that any time in your life that the government or anything or anybody else has given you anything, they never gave you a damn thing. Evil will not do for good. Listen to me. No entity that is of our government, the synagogue of Satan, the banking cartels, whatever, they would not give you the urine off of their testicles. Everything they give us is because our God in heaven tells them, I'm making you do it. I'm not giving you a choice, because that's who's really running things, is your God. Every good thing in your life is straight from your Father. James 1:17 says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Your God don't change. Your Father forces these monsters to help us. Why do you think we're still alive at this point? Don't you think they hate us enough to kill us or starve us out or round us up? Who do you think keeps them from doing this? God. Because who is the boss? Your Father's the boss. The synagogue of Satan treats people like slaves, prostitutes, and pigs. They are using technology to enslave Western culture. They are using lies to keep the people dependent on them. They keep the people in a state of suspense, which is by definition, hear me now, suspense by definition is anxious anticipation and expectation. Think about those three words and think about everything that you see today and hear. What is it with the masses and the synagogue of Satan, the game being played with this mass control? Anxious, anticipation, and expectation. You see how the emotions are controlled. You control the masses' minds and the bodies will follow. Listen to me. There's no need for FEMA camps just yet. There's no need for military or police intervention at this juncture. The masses joyfully do as they're told. Why do they need to intervene and haul everybody off to camps just yet? The masses are doing what they're told. In fact, the masses will come to look at their oppressors as their saviors because they have no inkling of the true Father and the true Savior. The synagogue of Satan has been working for decades to control the technology in this world. They want to control the computer industry. And they talked about it for 25 years. Folks just weren't paying attention. Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu used to go around. Now, he's not the prime minister now, but he used to go around and make speeches and talk about it. That's how they would control the world, was through technology. If you criticize the devil and his children, they'll censor you. They will try to remove you from the internet. Maybe they'll shut off your power. Maybe they'll shut off your water. Maybe they'll shut off your car and disable your means to communicate and purchase online, because we're getting to the point now that they want us to do everything online. Maybe they'll have you fired from jobs. Or maybe like the Hurricane Harvey victims a few years ago, you will not receive benefits unless you give your allegiance to the state of Israel. We see the conditioning for the worship of the beast is in full effect. This is Mystery Babylon. And people are either too afraid or too ignorant to criticize the devil and his family. They want to go along to get along, or they want somebody else to do it for them. And I understand it's not easy. But with God, hey man, you do it, and you do it boldly. With God. Without God, I don't know how other people live without God. I don't live without God. So I can't say how other people do without God, because my life is my God, my Father, and Jesus Christ. I don't know any other way. I don't desire any other way. We have reached the pinnacle of the lie. In addition, because of this one lie, all other lies are more than possible. The masses have been prepped and ready to believe the biggest lies known to mankind. Not humankind, but mankind. The masses have outright rejected God the Father, His Son Jesus, and they refuse to acknowledge His Word. The United States and Western culture has become a board game. People roll the dice, and where they land is where they reside for the day. You know, the masses wake up, and the first thing that people do when they wake up is reach for their cell phones before even using the bathroom. After all, your bowels can wait when it comes to the latest headline news, buzzwords, or the latest social media meme. Their day is predicated and dictated on what the cell phone tells them. How amazing these people are controlled by a device that talks to them and tells them what they will be and feel today. Others hit a button or say a word to their smart TV, and instantly Fox News or ESPN starts singing. This also will determine the day. These devices tell the people how to live, what to feel, how to think, what to accept and what to deny. It tells them what is socially acceptable and what is to be shunned and rejected. It tells them how to dress, what to eat, and stay tuned for more of the same. The people do not desire a sound mind, body, and spirit. These gifts come directly from our Father through the love we have for Jesus Christ. The folks do not care about sound minds and sound doctrines. The word sound comes from the Greek word called hugano. It means incorruptible, healthy, and wholesome. The word doctrine comes from the Greek word called didaskalia. It means instruction, learning, teaching, and function. So let's look again before we go further at what these words mean. And then we'll look at those who have the demonic minds and doctrines of the devil. God gives his children a sound mind, sound, incorruptible, healthy, and whole. A doctrine, the doctrine of God, is instruction, learning, teaching, and function that once you know it, you do it, you live it. These are the words that the Almighty Father uses to describe the minds and beings of his children. You live, you have a sound mind because you have a sound doctrine. And yet these people call you and I lost and ignorant. They want us worshiping aliens, which are demons. They want us to seek answers from a space that does not exist. They want us believing we are accidents that evolved from the great sludge. They want us to walk into their casino and pick up the dice and roll them and hope for the best. The children of God do not go near the casino. However, that's not the case for the masses. The dice are in hand, and the addicts are at the gambling table. They roll the dice looking for the truth. This is the new America and the new Western culture. Hold on, we've got breaking news. There's been a shooting. It seems a white racist has shot up a school and killed 21, which 3 times 7 is 21. It's called order out of chaos. Crowley wrote books about it 100 years ago. Or maybe 33. And I've did enough videos about 33, I don't need to explain. Hold on, there's more breaking news. Russia is now talking about using nuclear weapons against the Ukraine. Again, the dice are in hand. The person blows on the dice and says, "Come on, baby," and rolls snake eyes. However, the devil will gladly give him credit and another roll of the fixed dice. Never once do these blind masses ask, "Hey, who's running this game and who owns the casino?" America has morphed into a gigantic edition of a cheap tabloid. I've never understood those who watch the economy and believe that somehow this will give them inside knowledge and help to prepare for what's coming. I shake my head at this folly. You know, the people love to hear about the economy. More rolling the dice. When you have very little, it is completely meaningless to care what the stock market is doing. If you want to know what the stock market is doing, walk into any grocery store and buy groceries. Put gas in your car and you will soon understand what the economy is doing. You don't have to watch the devil to understand. It's a rigged system. There is a movement to buy precious metals. People are told to buy gold and silver. Yet God said there would come a time when your gold and silver will do nothing for you. This is nonsense, man. When it goes bad, your precious metals will not do a damn thing for you. It's a lie. You don't hear people talking about we need to come to God to endure the last days. No. Get your food, your patriotic food. Get your dry food. Get your precious metals. Get some ammo. And guess what? Not a damn thing. Nothing. If you don't have God, you have nothing. Zilch. Zero. You're less than empty. The word illusion goes hand in hand with the agenda of your enemy. An illusion is a deceptive appearance or impression. Now, since they are deceptive, illusions always require lies. And anyone who creates an illusion or illusions for a trade is a liar. Illusionists either add or subtract in order to change what something is to make it appear to be something it is not. They are magicians. That's what the serpent in the Garden of Eden was. That's what the word serpent was, Nakash, a magician, an enchanter. He creates images that tell a lie, and thus he lies. In times past, though, it was not so easy to create the illusion of being honest. You see, the illusionists despise the truth because they know the truth will expose and destroy everything they do. Now, before technology tantalized, money mesmerized, and broadcasting sanitized, the masses were harder to fool. What came from the mouth and the pen was scrutinized far more than today. Even the most evil beings, the most vilest, filthy creatures can appear honest if given the right skills and absolute control over their stage. They will hypnotize the crowd and onlookers. They must count on the naivete, ignorance, and blindness of the masses, or the illusion will not work. You ever seen the magician doing a trick and everybody's clapping saying, ah, ooh, and there's always that one person that says, he's palming it, it's behind his back. He knows what's going on. Very few of us are left. The devil's children must control the narrative. To do this, they must lie, and they cannot acknowledge any truth from anyone who has the courage or intellect, which comes from the Almighty God, to speak the truth to counter their lies. This is why they censor people. This is why they do not want anybody around them who can bring any truth around, because they become vulnerable, because it opens them up to what they are and what they do. This is why you have censorship. This is why you have laws that restrict and prohibit people from telling the truth, because the synagogue of Satan is scared. They're a scared people. You know, they try to act strong and noble and brave. There's nothing noble or brave about the devil and his children. There's just not. If there was anything noble and brave about them, they would welcome, hey, we welcome it. Prove us wrong. They know they could be proved wrong easily. Any truth contradicting their lies can jeopardize everything that they have worked to create. Truth, therefore, becomes their greatest enemy. And what is the personification of truth? Jesus Christ is. And they guard against the truth as the highest priority. It's the number one priority. Now, I've told you before, it comes down to the truth and the lie. The truth and the lie. That's what it's about, man. That's what this life is. The hypocrisy and lies of the media, big tech, academia, modern church, and Hollywood is unmatched. They speak 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and they do one thing nonstop. They lie. These evil beings keep the masses guessing and rolling the dice with disinformation, misinformation, and outright lies. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. They are monsters, humans. We are mankind. There are witches and devils and warlocks and seducing spirits roaming the media, the internet, Hollywood, the music industry, and in every segment of society, looking for victims. I've done many videos about it. We just did one a month and a half ago, seducing spirits and witches. I mean, we've done an excellent teachings on this to tell the people, hey, you're looking at sorcery, you're looking at witchcraft on a level that most don't understand. The masses are knocking on the devil's door, and this door has a hexagram on it, a 6-pointed star, and it's wide open. And they will tell you to come on in, but when you come in, you can't get out. Once you get in, the only way you can get out is if Jesus Christ will come and get you and bring you out. Refusing to knock on the true Father's door can cost you all you have. Darkness is here, and this is not a game. Darkness is here, and there is not but one light. That light is Jesus the Christ. The naive really think this is a game. The stakes are of the highest level. It's all or not. It's all or not. In this last hour, the actors, because that's what they are. They're actors. They're pretenders. They're magicians. They're charlatans. All of them. They have come in great numbers. I mean, there is a massive, massive movement of these monsters to control this whole entertainment industry, to where they are constantly giving you the information nonstop. I mean, it's nonstop. They do their craft as well-trained and well-disguised agents of darkness. They are evil. They are the creators of the problem, reaction, solution paradigm. They create a problem for the masses. The people will react, and the synagogue of Satan will usher in a solution that had been talked about years in advance. The talking witches in the media, alternative media, and social media are in place to offer you the solution that was determined years ago by the same monsters, humans, who created the crisis. The talking heads keep the people speculating over the solution as the hidden agenda is implemented in plain sight. And yet the godless of this world are too blind and delusional to see this. It is the time of the great lie and liar. Most of what you hear in this world is about the lie and the truth. If you're following a lie and a liar, how can you survive? Would not this be one of the keys to survival? If we follow liars and believe those who are trying to harm and deceive us, how can we live? How do so many end up following the lie? They follow the lie because they cannot hear the truth. They have rejected the truth. Let me say a word about the real truth tellers and those who truly live for and follow the truth. The real truth tellers and the true believers and what they stand for are the opposite of what the illusionists are. True believers stand for the truth because they have been set free by the truth. God has freed them. They don't have any shackles. They see this world for what it is. They know who the actors are. They know who the players are. They know what the truth is. However, some truth tellers, they start out honest, but they get watered down or scared down. They see evil. They see deception and lies all about, but they dare not risk themselves by standing up to it. Some of them may stand up at first, but after getting severely chastened by family and friends, shunned, or threatened with jail, fines, and loss of jobs or benefits, they learn never to stand up again. To stand in this world against this this beast that has been given much power by God, you can only stand up to it through the Father and Jesus Christ. They have to stand with you, or you will be crushed. But with God, with Jesus Christ, I'm telling you, man, you can get nose to nose with him and tell him, come on and get it. Most people don't have that faith. And God is looking for people that have that faith. The genuine truth tellers are the true believers who are staunch in their faith and love for Jesus Christ. We are unwilling to compromise. We remain faithful to God and our King Jesus Christ in the face of evil and all of their minions. We will not compromise the truth of our Father for anything. We are willing to die, fight, go it alone, live alone, or in the middle of the woods if need be, because our God will always take care of us. We will not compromise, nor will we be broken by the lie and the liars of this world. Let me tell you something, man. What comes out of your mouth is a big deal. It's a big deal. You know, in the past, I received criticism for using a few curse words. And I shake my head and even wonder if the people understand what God meant when he said this. Matthew chapter 12, verses 36 and 37. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. Proverbs 8:7, for my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. Many people spend time mocking, laughing, and denying Jesus the Christ. They let those mouths get them in trouble. I've seen it on BitChute, man. I still can't get over how many people would come and mock Jesus Christ. I mean, and just do it so easily. And you think about what they're going to have to go through. They're already starting to go through it. They just keep mocking. Consider this verse and the truth of it. And then I want you to think about something here. Do you think my father has gotten angry at me for occasionally using a few cuss words in my anger at defending him and Jesus, who are the love of my life? Or is my father talking about what comes out of your mouth is the filth and evil that goes against my Father, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Word? Do you not think that men of God throughout the ages have gotten mad and used cuss words when defending and fighting for the Father and Jesus Christ? And what kind of person says, hey, because you said some cuss words, it took away from your message as you sit there doing nothing? You're hypocrites, man. You're hypocrites. Now this verse I want to read to you. I want you to think about it. Two of them. In Revelation 3:9 it says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. Now the word Jew, if you've not seen my video, Who and What is a Jew, you should do so, because the word Jew, people don't even know what the word Jew even means. It's a Judahite, a Judean, and how the word Jew came to be. Watch the video. Then he says, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Again, we have to ask ourselves, if God condemned a people, and they cannot even tell the truth about their identity, why would anyone believe a single word they say? These people have never met a lie they do not like. What comes out of their mouth is always a lie. Their father is called the great liar. John 8:44. He was a born liar. Now in closing, please take these words to heart from your Father's Word. This is the very next verse that follows that verse, and I want you to think about how they go together. They fit so nicely, hand in glove. This is Revelation 3:10, the next verse. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So Jesus is telling you, I'm going to keep you from that temptation. And he even tells you in the previous verse who's going to be behind the temptation. He tells you in 9 who's behind it. Then he tells you in 10, he will keep you from the temptation. Jesus will guide us away from the lies and the liars and the temptations in these last days. We are not to be yoked with those who do not share our faith. We are not to be yoked with those who do not live and follow what we do. Do not, I repeat, try to convert these people or share with them your truth that God has given you. It serves no purpose to refute the latest shooting hoax or the grossest lies, these lies spewed by the devil's children. Man, you'll go insane if you think that you're going to convert family members or friends. It's not going to happen. In our little ministry here, I preach to the people that know the truth and the people that God brings. If God were to give me a platform right now to reach 1 million people, 999,500 would say he's crazy. You're not going to convert people that God has not called. Stop doing it. You're only going to bring heartache and trouble on yourself. They love the lie because the Father has put them under the strong delusion. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, 10 through 12. Read it. It came from God. It didn't come from the devil. It came from God. On our channel, we've no stories about aliens, revolutions, arrests, comebacks, takeovers, fake wars, and countless other lies. We humbly tell the truth with the ability that our Father gives us to do. I do not shy away from saying Jesus is number one. And if this does not resonate with you, this is not the channel for you. What we have here is a real ministry, every bit as real as any church that has ever existed. The true teachers and the true servants of God and the truth tellers of this world do not tickle your ears. They prick your heart. They convict your spirit. and they're willing to open up God's words and show you. May the Father bless those who have been called to receive this message. My wife and I send our love to our family. Our family. God willing, I hope to see you soon. My love to all y'all.